Hey, my name is Patrick Hunt, Chief Evangelist of Lirio, and my big idea is that to have a burgeoning, successful technology ecosystem, you've got to show up.
So when you're talking about tech entrepreneurship, define what you mean by that on a personal scale for yourself, as well as a community scale for folks that are listening, kind of, sort of wanting to understand what that means.
So entrepreneurship is the idea of creating companies and businesses that create jobs that grow and create prosperity for workers and their families. So every business has some element of technology, but I'm talking about technology-focused businesses, like creating technology solutions that create, again, economic prosperity for the users of the technology or for the families that are involved in running that business. You could have one that organizes audio, video footage so that people can easily find what they need for a creative project. But you could also have technology that is sort of deeper and more scientifically rooted in, for example, climate tech or artificial intelligence like we use at Lirio, or other types of really meaningful, important technologies that could change the world. There are some really great assets that exist in this community, and what I'm really talking about is just getting everybody aligned and rowing in the same direction. And it's just a leveling up of some of the things we're already doing. Now, you might ask, what are some of the gaps? Might be the sort of the next logical question. And I don't know that, right? That's, I think, part of one of the things that needs to occur today is try to figure out where the gaps exist. Like for many years, all anyone in this area talked about was access to capital, right? Well, that's changed for the better in a lot of ways. We have new venture capital funds that didn't exist previously. We have more active angel investing going on in the community. There's a new venture capital fund that's getting ready to be started this fall. So there's some exciting stuff that's happening from an access to capital standpoint, but we haven't really stepped back and reassessed where we were, where we are today, and what needs to continue to change over time to support technology and entrepreneurship.
Because of where we are, right? Knoxville as a region, as the maker city, a lot of our technology is either intellectual property creation, right? Or it's combining a software, an intellectual property technological application with hard manufacturing, right?
Yep.
So what are some of these specific opportunities that you see in our economic climate, in our entrepreneurial ecosystem, that if those opportunities and resources align, what are some of those things that you see being able to happen here over the course of the next few years?
If you're looking for themes like that are common to this region that you might not find elsewhere or where we're particularly strong, I think the deep scientific research that we have through not just ORNL and the University of Tennessee, but through other area educational and research institutions, even our community colleges, but also organizations like EPRI, the Electric Power Research Institute, which has a significant presence in our community here. And as you start to look across those organizations, climate, clean tech, clean energy, and related technologies are incredibly deep in terms of the level of expertise and innovation that's already happening here, hold tremendous promise from a commercial application standpoint, and solve perhaps what is the world's most pressing issue we face today as human beings. So there's a tremendous amount of opportunities specifically in climate, tech, and clean energy, and a whole range of solutions for which there are massive need and market opportunity. But there are many others, right? The University of Tennessee and Oak Ridge National Lab are leaders in artificial intelligence. The head of AI at UT is the former deputy director of the White House for artificial intelligence and technology. So we've got some real deep expertise and national leadership in the AI area as well. So there's really a lot of rich technology opportunities that exist in those organizations and in the minds and the hearts of entrepreneurs.
What are some of the common pain points and or opportunities that you have seen folks work through in building a technology first company? You know, that you've seen yourself as an entrepreneur, as well as a frequent mentor and facilitator for programs like Inflection Point at, Knoxville Entrepreneur Center. What are some of the common things that people tend to go through and the common opportunities where they can step up and become leaders to share those resources, right?
Many entrepreneurs that I encounter here are first-time entrepreneurs. Maybe they held a leadership role in another company before deciding to launch their company and product. Maybe not. But they just don't know where to start. And that's where organizations like Knoxville Entrepreneur Center come into play and really able to help guide entrepreneurs through that initial stages of the journey. So that is one. I think two is talent, right? Having access to a deep, rich talent pool. And how to coalesce that community. But we really have to continue to support growth and development, as well as educational and recreational opportunities for talented technology, people who will want to live and work and play here. And the third remains access to capital, right? Even though the community has made tremendous strides in early stage, high risk capital, I think we still trail probably peer communities and the kind of capital we really need. And frankly, that last point about early stage, high risk capital is also a big part of a mind shift that needs to occur. That my perception anyway is that there is a lack of tolerance for investing in early stage, high risk business ideas.
As a person who has both been part of a team that started companies, been an entrepreneur yourself, and now you're sort of folding into Lirio, and you've been a part of growth stage companies. You've been a part of marketing companies. You've played a role as a mentor in building others, up. What is the biggest ask? Let's imagine there's a person, listening to this podcast right now. She is a potential, or maybe she is a tech entrepreneur. Maybe she is questioning like, well, what can I do? What's a step that I could take to take that responsibility, to be a leader, to take my resources and use them to build, and use my resources to help, build up a community. So from your personal standpoint, what's a clarion call for folks?
Show up, right? You can't be so insular and so focused on your business, right? Starting a business is hard. Managing a growing business is hard. But you can't be so insular and so focused on exclusively that business to the exclusion of benefit of the broader community. So that entrepreneur that you identified needs to show up at KEC, needs to show up at the Chamber, needs to show up at Innovate 6.5 Week and Startup Day, and be actively engaged in the broader community. And that's true of everyone.